1-800-449-8686. And now, Phil Hendry.
All right, what is the latest that we're getting from Western States Homeowners Association now? Bobby Dooley is on the line with us, and her husband, Steve.
Well, Phil, this is obviously a power play on the part of the executive meeting, of the executive committee to wrest power away from us. My husband really believes that this is a power play.
All right, you're going to have to bring people up to speed. Have you been stripped of your presidency of the Western States Homeowners Association? This is a homeowners association representing some 200 homes in West Hills, right?
That is correct, yes.
What? And you have been stripped of your presidency?
Yes, I have, but it's not going to last, Phil.
Why have they done this?
This is because they are resentful of the fact that I have helped shape this neighborhood. I have helped shepherd this community for the last 7 years. Many of their children, quite frankly, would be dead if it wasn't for me.
No, but why ostensibly are they saying that they don't want you to be the president?
Well, the genesis of this is the executive order that I issued for the Homeowners Association about the so-called Martin Luther King holiday. It was my husband's feeling, and I agree, that African Americans are very formal with their names. Martin Luther King, the very name itself, is a very formal name. European Americans and white Americans are a little bit more informal. We just don't talk the same way. To give you an example, Phil, if I were black, I would be, instead of Bobby Dooley, I would be Roberta Dooley. Steve would be Stephen Dooley. Western Estates is a predominantly white community. I wanted Dr. King's birthday to be relevant to our children, to the Caucasian American, European American, and white American children that live here. I ordered that our message board in front of our community and that our correspondence be changed to refer to Monday as, instead of the very formal Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday, that we have some fun, and we call it Marty King's birthday. And our official correspondence said so. The executive board then...
You want to change the name of Martin Luther King to Marty King?
No, it's just
for the birthday, for Martin Luther King's birthday. We feel that is relevant to...
Are you making a joke out of this man's life? Or
No, Phil, we are not. It's really insulting that you'd say that.
Well, Marty King...
Phil, think of the resistance that many in the white community have had to Martin Luther King's birthday being an official holiday. Look at the state of Arizona in particular. Look at the states of Oregon and Utah, many states where it is not even a legal holiday. The way to get white America to accept Dr. King, in our opinion, Steve...
We needed to have him become more accessible to white people.
Well, to have him become more accessible to white people, maybe just educate as to the man's teachings.
Well, it's just his name, and Dr. King did a lot of good things.
We are not against Dr. King. We think he's wonderful, but we thought that Marty King, and we still think, calling Martin Luther King is so formal.
All right, well then, so they wanted to strip the power from you. Is that it?
They wanted to... They said it was disrespectful. I explained to them that it wasn't. They said also in a letter that they thought I needed, and get this, Phil, they thought I needed a psychiatrist. Many of their children would be dead today because of me. I'm going to tell you this story.
If Steve's going to be on the air with you, then be on the air, all right, Steve?
I want to tell you, Phil, many of our children would be dead today in Western Estates if it wasn't...
Well, why do you say that?
I argued and I got funded speed bumps that slow our traffic down and save the lives of thousands of children every year in Western Estates. Now, we have only 150 children, but if you multiply that over the number of days that we've had the speed bumps, that is over 1,000 children's lives would have been saved. Lorraine Hawthorne, who was instrumental in saying that I needed a psychiatrist for wanting to rename Martin Luther King's birthday to Marty King. Her daughter has multiple dystrophy and is in a wheelchair and would be dead today if it wasn't for the fact that I put those speed bumps in. And
All right, this is going pretty fast, and I want to get a phone number out before we go any further. Bobby Dooley and Steve Dooley. Bobby Dooley's been stripped of the presidency of her homeowners association for wanting to rename Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday Marty King's birthday because an informal name is more accessible to white people, and that's one of the reasons why whites have resisted Dr. King's birthday. 1-800-449-8686 is our phone number, 1-800-449-8686. Now, you're saying that you saved the life of a woman's child by getting speed bumps in?
yes.
How?
Well, Phil, I am generally on my way to some event. I'm on my way to a series of meetings. I'm on my way to an event. Someone needs me. It's not unusual to see my champagne-colored S-Series just racing through the gates, off to a meeting or off to some event. And one day I remembered saying, Bobby, there's speed bumps, slow down. I was saying this to myself.
Right.
And as I slowed down, thank God, I hit the edge of Catherine Hawthorne's wheelchair. And I didn't hurt her, but I did see her wheelchair spinning in the street as I went by.
And if you hadn't slowed down for the speed bump?
If I hadn't slowed down for the speed bump, I'm sure she'd be dead. But I looked in the rearview mirror, I had clipped the front end, and the only thing that happened to the poor girl was...
Well, his chair was spinning, and they said that caused equilibrium.
Because she has dystrophy.
So her chair was spinning around in the street as after you hit it.
That's right.
Did you stop?
Well, that's the beauty of the speed bumps. It slowed me down enough where I didn't have to stop. I could see that she was all right. But you see, her wheelchair was spinning on one wheel, wasn't it?
It was spinning on one wheel, yeah.
And that, to me, says that those speed bumps slowed down my car enough whereby I didn't kill that child.
Because she was strapped in her chair.
She was strapped into the chair.
All right, because you slowed down long enough not to kill some woman's child because you put in speed bumps, means that woman is being disloyal?
She has called for my ouster, yeah. And she's also recommended that I see a psychiatrist.
Bobby, don't you think it's a little bit disrespectful to call Martin Luther King Marty King?
No, I do not.
Why?
Because I think it is a very accessible name. Phil, they call Abraham Lincoln Abe Lincoln. They called John Kennedy Jack Kennedy. They called Dwight Eisenhower Ike. They have called people down through the years by a nickname. It makes them accessible. Marty King is a perfectly accessible name, an acceptable name for Dr. Martin Luther King. And as such, I certainly don't think. But here is the problem. I really don't know where they think they're getting off stripping me of my presidency. If it wasn't for me, that neighborhood would be nothing. So this is a power play. They're not going to win it. I will do what I must with that neighborhood. And if that means renaming Martin Luther King's birthday, I'll do that.
Well, I mean, you have homeowners there who are against it.
Well, I don't care if they're against it. I'm the president of the Homeowners Association. What I say goes.
Well, they've stripped you of your presidency.
I'll get back in.
We'll get back in. We have to take over the meeting.
Well, I don't know how you get back in as the president of a homeowners association that has stripped you of your power. And I got to tell you something. I may not think that you need a psychiatrist, but it is really weird to call Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Marty King. All right?
And you're a white man, and you're saying that.
And I'm a white man, and I'm saying that. Yes. I don't know any guys named Martin, and I don't know any guys named Robert or Stephen or Roberta, for that matter. But I think the man's name is what the man's name is.
Well, I think that's the.
Well, about Marty K.
No, I wouldn't call him Marty K either. Okay.
That's the political correctness that so many people are tied up in. And I have told them what I want. Now, I want to see the sign changed. I'm going to be back at our Homeowners Association meeting. And
well, you want to see the sign changed from what?
Martin Luther King's birthday is Monday. I want to see it changed to Marty King.
By when? By Monday?
By Monday, yes. We're having a Homeowners Association meeting on Friday. I will go in. I will take my rightful place as the president. They don't strip me of my power. I'm the one that put in the speed bumps. I'm the one that re-landscaped the pool. I'm the one that had the whole Magnolia phase planned for the last 6 years. They don't take my power away from me.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun things planned on Marty shot, thing like that.
We were going to do some Marty shots, things like that.
Marty shots. What are these, drinks?
I'm sorry?
What is a Marty shot, a drink?
Yes.
On Martin Luther King's birthday. Look, I think you guys are way off the beaten path on this thing, man. Nobody...
Well, if you don't change Martin Luther King's name, then you're going to have more and more whites resisting this as a birthday.
Look, Arizona accepted his birthday as a national holiday, and they didn't need to change his name to Marty King.
Phil, I am the one that saved that poor girl with multiple dystrophy from a slow and painful death.
You were the one that was racing into the community in the first place. And you hit her, and her wheelchair went spinning.
But if it hadn't been for the fact that I put in the speed bumps,
I know you wouldn't have slowed down in the first place. That's crazy logic, okay? You put the speed bumps in, which reminded you to slow down, so you didn't kill anybody. So what? We should all be grateful that you slowed down.
Marty shots like Old English 800s mixed with gin.
I don't care what a Marty shot is. Old English 800 mixed with gin. That's racist.
Why?
Because that's that whole thing about Old English 800 and black people, okay? What is it with you guys? I think that this is a very veiled attempt to mock and make fun of that great man's birthday, all right?
Phil, this is an attempt to get white people to understand his birthday. I understand it. I know what Martin Luther King represents to this country. I've studied his life. Most white people don't. You don't have to worry about me. I respect Martin Luther King. But I know what it takes to get white people to understand the contributions of African Americans. You have to, first of all, make them acceptable to the white community. And the way you do that is to make their names accessible. For instance...
Marty King.
Marty King.
That's your name, yours? You got anybody's name, Ed?
Yeah, I got some friends named Ed. Do they call Ted Kennedy Ed Kennedy?
Call him Ted. Ted Edward.
All right, 1-800-449-8686.
I just think that the African Americans need to loosen up and accept that, too.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Hold on for a minute. Well, they say she needs a psychiatrist. She wanted to change the name of Martin Luther King's birthday to Marty King Birthday Day, or whatever the hell it is, Marty King. And she says that the Homeowners Association owes her because she's the one that put in the speed bumps, and if there hadn't been speed bumps, she wouldn't have slowed down that day long enough just to clip Catherine Hawthorne's wheelchair and send the child spinning through the streets, as opposed to just getting crushed by her, what is it, champagne-colored S-Series. 1-800-449-8686. The premise here is that whites need to have a name they can relate to. Otherwise, they don't get Martin Luther King. Bobby says she understands. 1-800-449-8686. This is The Phil Hendrie Show.
The Phil Hendrie Show is back. 1-800-449-8686.
Bobby Dooley, president of the Homeowners Association of Western Estates, has been removed, at least temporarily, as president by the other executive members of that board because she wanted to rename Martin Luther King holiday Marty King at your community, right?
Phil, that is right. We're not trying to rename it for the whole country. We are trying to get the white people that live in suburban America to understand the life of Martin Luther King. One of the ways you do that...
I know. One of the ways you do that is by making his name more accessible to whites. Call him Marty King. Now, you say that these people have taken your presidency away from you because they don't like your matriarchal ways. But apparently, they owe you because you put in speed bumps that made you slow down one day long enough not to hit some kid in a wheelchair. All she did was spin. You didn't hit the chair over.
You know, Phil, your sarcasm...
No, isn't that what you said?
That's what I said, yes.
Excuse me. 1-800-449-8686. Let's go over to Arlene. Arlene, hi.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I would like to speak to Bob. Is this Bob Dooley on the phone?
My name is Bobby.
Well, we can't call you a nickname either?
My name is Bobby.
Okay,
that's,
Bob.
That's my name.
Well, if you can call Martin
Bobby's a
Luther
nickname.
King Marty, I can call you Bob.
Bobby's already a nickname. Bobby is already
I've been listening to you.
Arlene, it's
Excuse
already
me,
a
Bob.
nickname.
Oh,
it's already
hello,
a nickname.
Bob.
Hold on, Arlene. Arlene,
Yes?
she's trying to tell you that it's already a nickname from Roberta.
That's right.
Okay, well, I'm going to break it down some more to Bob.
You should know that. You're black.
Okay,
Why
should
she know that?
I am black.
That's right.
And you know
Because
what?
if I was
have
black,
a
I'd be
normal name.
Roberta.
My name is Arlene. Okay? And you
I
can call
don't
me
know.
Arl.
Well, I don't know any white people. I don't know any white people that are named that.
But
You don't know any
let me
white
tell
people
you.
named Arlene?
No.
Oh, I know. It's a German name, so I know tons of Arlene, okay?
Are
It
they
came
white?
from Germany. Look it up, okay? Now, what I wanted to call and tell you, Bob, was I think you're very disrespectful to call Martin Luther King Marty.
Why?
And then there is
You
a
have
white
no
person.
answer.
You ever heard of Martin Sheen? Have you ever heard of Martin Sheen?
He's an actor. Totally different. Totally different.
Why is that different?
Because Martin Luther King was trying to reach out to people. Actors are just drug addicts. They're not even... I wanted to unveil my plan on Monday to name every speed bump
you
through
know
Western
what?
states
I
after
applaud
a famous
I
African
applaud
American.
them. God bless them for
Let me ask you, what would you
stripping
call
from your power.
who would you call Malcolm X? Mal X or
Yeah. You know, if you want white people to understand Dr. King, make him
They
accessible.
already understand. Let me give you a little clue. You've studied Martin Luther King. Then
The
you
lady
should know
that
there
was-
were tons of white people that marched with Martin Luther King. There were tons of white people
Well, they
that
were all
helped Martin
Jewish.
Luther King get out of jail.
They were
and there
Jewish.
were tons
they were
of,
Jewish?
Yes, they were
No,
Jewish.
they weren't.
Technically, Arlene, they were Jewish.
Well, they're
Okay,
still white.
Well,
Well, is Jane Fonda Jewish?
Jane Fonda didn't march with Martin Luther King.
Oh, you better go back and look at the film.
No,
dear.
she went to
Okay,
Vietnam. She went to
okay.
Vietnam. Thank
And
you.
she did
yeah.
other things too,
No,
darling.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
is Marlon Brando, is
Okay,
he Jewish?
who was the woman that
Is Marlon
was told to get off the
Brando
bus?
Jewish? Is Marlon Brando Jewish?
He's Italian.
Okay, well, you said only Jews march with him.
Marlon Brando
So
didn't
I
march
think
with
you
Martin
should
Luther
go
King.
back, go in the archives,
Marlon Brando
honey, get your facts.
Well, how do you know
Get your
Marlon Brando
facts.
marched
You're
with him?
so illiterate. I don't see how they voted you in the first place. You are the most illiterate person.
Do you know,
and
Arlene,
you almost
I have
killed
worked-
someone in a wheelchair. You are so illiterate, honey. Go read a book. I heard it's fundamental. I really did. I heard that somewhere, and you know I
What's
read a lot. So
I read a lot
I would
too.
Suggest,
That's why I want
I
to
would
help
suggest
white
that
people
you go and
understand.
read.
And it's
Go
black
and
people
read
like
and
you
then
that
come
don't
back
want
on the
whites to
radio.
understand things. You want everybody to be stupid.
No, I'm not saying everyone is stupid.
I
I'm
wanted
just
to
saying you
unveil
are.
a plan on Monday
I'm just
to
saying
name.
that you are, Bob.
We just
Bob,
put in speed bumps to name after African Americans.
You put in speed
Who
bumps
was the
because
woman
you
that-
almost wiped out a crippled
You almost
child.
killed a child in a wheelchair, okay?
You almost killed a crippled child, you illiterate
When
barbarian.
Rosie
You
Perez
couldn't
was
even
told to get off
understand.
of that bus
I
in
bet your
Montgomery,
speed limit-
Alabama.
I bet your speed limit there is like 10, 15 miles per hour because they have people there in wheelchairs and it is a community.
Oh, you just know all about where we live, don't you? You haven't listened to me once.
honey.
When Rosie Perez was told to get off that bus in Montgomery,
Listen.
that was the beginning of the...
Rosie Perez, huh?
I'm sorry,
It's Rosie Perez, and Rosie Perez happens
Rosa
to be a
Parks.
Latino actor.
All right,
actress.
I made a mistake.
I told you
I
were
made
illiterate.
a mistake. Oh, I'm
You're
illiterate?
crazy. You're stupid. You are stupid, and I applaud them for removing you from the presidency.
You know what? The lady might have a point here.
Who was Rosie Greer then? I don't...
Rosie Greer was played for the L.A. Rams. Rosie Perez is an actress, and Rosa Parks was the one who was told to get off the bus.
It's my bad.
Listen,
My
Bob.
bad, Arlene.
Bob,
I'm
would
using
you
black
go to
talk.
Memphis?
I'm
Go
using
to
black
Memphis.
talk. My
Bob.
bad.
Bob.
Phil Hendry
Hey,
Show.
Bob.
The Phil Hendry Show is back. 1-800-449-8686.
Bobby Dooley, former president of Western States Homeowners Association, has been stripped of that title. She wanted to rename Martin Luther King birthday's day to Marty King birthday. This to make white people better understand because it's an informal name.
That is correct, Phil. And I also really am angry over the fact that you are allowing people to call me stupid when, in point of fact, I have a great knowledge of Martin Luther King. I have a great knowledge of African Americans. I know all about them. I know what they like and what they dislike. And I know that Marty King is a way that will get more white people to understand his life. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Phil, you have to understand, whites are really, really stupid when it comes to the lives of black people.
Talk about the Million Man March.
We are going to, on Martin Luther King's birthday, talk about the Million Man March, what it meant to Marty King.
The Million Man March?
Yes.
The Million Man March was not Martin Luther King.
Yeah, it was. It was the March on Washington.
The March on Washington was Martin Luther King. The Poor People's March on Washington was Martin Luther King. The Million Man March was Louis Farrakhan.
No, Phil.
It was Louis Farrakhan, and it took place like 6 years ago.
No. You're confusing them. You're confusing them.
No, I'm not. The Million Man March was not Martin Luther King.
Phil, please. You're really showing your ignorance.
No, you're showing your ignorance. The Million Man March was not Martin Luther King. It was Louis Farrakhan.
You want to bet?
Do I want to what?
You want to bet?
Yeah, I'll bet.
How much?
I'll bet you one of my paychecks against one of yours.
You're on.
Oh, man, you just lost a lot of money.
I'm going to go look it up on a website right now.
Go ahead. Go to your little website, wherever you got to go, man.
Phil, I don't understand why you're being hostile.
Look at... You can say whatever you want to say. You can call the first woman to be taken off a bus in Montgomery, Alabama in 1956 Rosie Perez if you want to. Her name was Rosa Parks. And it was not the Million Man March. 1-800-449-8686.
You are really intolerant. And the reason why we are trying to rename it Marty King Birthday is to make it more tolerable for whites.
You know what I'd like to do? I'd love to take a website poll to find out how many white people would really dig Martin Luther King's birthday if the name was changed to Marty King's birthday. 1-800-449-8686. Here is Joan on the Phil Hendry Show. Joan?
Mrs. Julie?
Yes,
How dare you slow down? No, let me talk. You've talked. How do you slow down for a speed bump? Look in the rearview mirror. Know you've knocked this child over. Her wheel is spinning, and then not stop to get out to check on the child. If the child has MD, is she supposed to get out of that wheelchair, pick up her wheelchair, and get back in it? If she did, she wouldn't have MD. Not only should you be stripped of the rights you have been stripped of, you need to be stripped of your driver's license. I'm surprised you don't even have a civil charge of hit and run on you, girl.
You're white, aren't you?
You have a nice day.
You're white, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
That proves you don't care about Marty King's birthday. You just care about the girl.
I don't care about Martin Luther King. I'm more worried about this child that you said you've hit.
And if I renamed it Marty King's birthday, you would understand him better, wouldn't you?
No. I would not. His name is Martin Luther King, and I'm not calling for Martin Luther King.
You don't care about Marty King?
I'm calling because I'm upset over the child.
She's talking about the child.
I'm calling on a different subject.
She's talking about the kid.
No,
I'm calling about the kid that you said you hit.
The reason why you are is because you know nothing of Marty King.
I'm not calling for Martin Luther King, ma'am. I'm calling about the child you hit.
I know you're not.
The child you hit and did not get out to see if she was okay.
I know that you are not.
I'm not calling about Martin Luther King.
I know you're not because you don't know anything about him. And
I'm more concerned about a children's life, a child's life, than I am about changing some man's name. Do you understand that? You must be a very unfit mother.
Let's talk about the child that you hit.
I care about is children.
If the child
I don't care who you call him, what you call him.
If the child was
black,
I don't care
if you call me a nickname.
If the child was black, would you care?
Yes, I would. I would stop and I would get out to make sure the child was okay. I don't care if she was black, green, red, yellow, Chinese, Japanese. I would get out and stop to make sure the child was okay.
And
How
what
dare
if that
you say
child's
I
name...
looked in my rearview mirror and she was okay, so I kept going?
And what would you do if that child's name was Marty King?
Oh, will you come on? If the child's name was Marty King. You looked in your rearview mirror.
What the
I'd like
name
to
is.
answer the woman's question. I looked in my rearview mirror. I saw the wheelchair spinning around, but she was fine. She wasn't knocked over.
Out of respect for the child, you should have got out and said, "Are you okay?" and help her with her wheelchair.
Joan, I am on the go. I'm the president of our homeowners
So am I,
association.
but if I hit a kid, I'm going to stop. I don't care if it's a meeting with the president,
Well, what if you
or
didn't hurt
Bushy,
her?
or whatever you want to call him. I'd stop to make sure that child was okay. You are one unfit mother, and that woman ought to bring
Well, what
charges
is
of
she
hit
going
run
to tell me?
against
The
you.
child has multiple
You
dystrophy.
have a great day,
She has
ma'am.
multiple
and may
dystrophy,
God
and she
bless
can't
you,
say
and
anything.
I shall pray for you.
She had multiple dystrophy. She couldn't say anything, Phil.
Well, what do you mean she couldn't say anything?
I mean, if I had gotten out and I had said, "Are you all right?" You know,
You would not be able to talk to her.
What?
You wouldn't be able to understand. Blah, 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 blah.
it was all gibberish.
What do you mean she's got multiple dystrophy and it would have been... First of all, it's called either multiple sclerosis or muscular dystrophy. Now, which is it?
Multiple dystrophy.
Multiple dystrophy.
No, it's either multiple sclerosis or muscular dystrophy. Which is it?
Oh, you can't talk to my wife like that.
Oh, please. 1-800-449-8686. Here is Beverly on the Phil Hendry Show. Beverly?
Yes. Miss Dooley, I don't know what kind of drug you're taking, but I really do
beg
think
your
you
pardon.
need to go
I
back to
beg
your
your
doctor or whatever street
I
corner
don't
that you
take
got
any
it from,
drugs.
so that you
Why?
can get yourself together, because the comments that you're making are totally ludicrous. Marty King Day and about you hitting the little girl, if I could find you, I would do a citizen's arrest for you, on you.
How are you going to arrest me? The
Because
girl was
you
fine.
have no idea. I don't
The
even
girl
know
was
what
fine.
people put you in charge of a board of any kind.
It's the Western States Homeowners Association.
Well, you know what?
And they are primarily European American.
No,
and I wanted them to understand Marty
They are
King's birthday.
ignorant people such as yourself.
Well, they're stupid
Such
because
as
they don't.
yourself. They are ignorant people such as yourself.
They don't
because
know about
you have
Marty
no
King.
business on the air talking about changing somebody's name. Did anybody ask you to change your name from Dooley?
I'm not famous.
No, they did
I'm not
not.
famous.
So why do you think you have a right to change
Because
Martin
they
Luther
named
King's
his birthday-
name to Marty King Day?
because we
so
take
that
his
the
day
white
off.
America can understand it
Right.
better.
That's it.
Whatever it is, a complicated name. If it's a complicated name, then you're the stupid one because
I
you're trying to make it
understand.
uncomplicated.
I'm down with
Martin
you.
Luther King is not a complicated name. And if white people don't understand it as such, then
Beverly,
they're stupid and ignorant
Beverly,
just
Beverly,
like you.
Beverly, I'm
and
down.
I thank you. And you know what?
I'm down.
You have a nice day. And whoever the little girl that you hit, I hope that her parents sue you. Or better yet, I hope that she calls the police to pick you up.
Beverly, I
Because
grew up
that's
the
what
street.
you need to be.
I
You
grew
need
up
to
the
be in
street.
a rubber room, and you need to stop taking the drugs from the street. And
Well,
I think
bet
that's
you
your
would have had a
problem
lot
right
more
now,
white
that
friends
you're
if you
taking
changed your
drugs
name
from
to
the street,
Bev instead
sweetheart.
of Beverly. Okay? And I'm down with you.
No,
What do you mean
you're
you're
not
down?
down with me, sweetheart,
I'm
because
hip
I'm
to
not
the
down
groove.
with anything.
I'm hip to the groove.
You're not down with me. You don't know me.
I groove the street.
You groove the streets?
What does that mean, you groove
That's
the street?
what I'm trying to figure out. What does that mean? I don't know about grooving the streets.
I hang with the peeps.
Oh,
Who
will
are
you
they?
stop it?
Who are they?
The peeps.
Who are the peeps?
What's the peeps, Steve?
That's what.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ain't you
No
black?
idea at all. And I don't think you do either.
Aren't you black?
You're black,
I don't
aren't
think
you?
you do either, sweetheart. What you need to do is to stop smoking the crack, stop smoking the marijuana, stop doing the drugs, and maybe
right.
you as a person
Well, I
or
should
whatever
try
you
that.
are can come to some kind of terms with yourself because you know not what you're speaking.
Hey, Beverly, you want to see my bling bling?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, my God.
All right, thank you.
You know, Phil, I roll with the homie.
Oh, shut up. 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendry Show.
Phil Hendry Show. 1-800-449-8686.
Bobby Dooley, Western Estates Homeowners Association, with her husband Steve Dooley. On Martin Luther King's birthday, they proposed to change the name to Marty King Birthday, and apparently it has created such a flap. She's been fired from her job as president of the Western States Homeowners Association. You got people questioning your sanity, too. But you claim to understand the plight of the African American.
Well, Phil, I am a white person who gets Martin Luther King, and I understand the plight of African Americans. If you look at what happened to Whitney Houston and O.J., look at O.J. He got involved with a white woman, and look what happened. You see what I'm saying? I think that...
What do you mean he got involved with a white woman, and look what happened?
Well,
You're going to be involved with a white one. You're going to want to kill her. I want to kill my wife every week.
That's what Steve says. He wants to kill me at least once a week. Imagine a white man saying that about his white wife. What would a black man feel?
What are you two talking about? That was a normal thing?
I'm saying I understand the plight of the African. Suge Knight, P. Diddy, all of them have had a problem.
You know, your understanding of African Americans may be one thing. Your understanding of white people is probably pretty lacking, too, in that you want to change the name of Martin Luther King's birthday to Marty King Day so that whites get it more about Martin Luther King.
White people don't get Martin Luther King. Got to change to Martin King.
That's what we're trying to do.
Well, I don't know. And to have to make white people understand Martin Luther King's birthday, it sounds like you're trivializing the man a little bit. Here is Charles on the Phil Hendry Show. Charles?
Yes, praise the Lord.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm a bishop in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And,
what's up?
I beg your pardon?
What's up?
What's up?
Never mind the what's up, okay?
Please,
I'm
sir.
sorry.
That's right. You need, let me tell you what the word is, what's up. The what's up is ignorant.
G-O-double-G.
Okay? It
Mhm.
is ignorant.
What about what happened to Gary Coleman?
Excuse me. No, no, excuse me. Don't you talk. Let me talk.
Mm-hmm.
Because y'all talk to my numbers just like I'm talking to you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
When you said the Million Man March.
What's up, it?
All right,
you know where
I
was
hear
that?
hold on for a minute, Reverend, if you wouldn't mind. It's Phil Hendry speaking. If I hear that wasabi or what's up one more time, I'm hanging up.
I didn't say that.
Well, tell your husband to shut up. Go ahead, sir.
He's very ignorant. And in the name of Jesus, I hope you have sense. The march,
wasn't it Martin?
the march, excuse me, sir, I am speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're that ignorant, you need to be hanging up. Now, salam alaikum. You know what that means?
That
means
that's African talk.
Excuse me?
Isn't that African?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Well, you asked me what it meant.
Look, ma'am, you shut up. Now,
That's the name of a
the
lake.
Million March, the Million March.
Wait a minute.
Was
it's the name of a lake.
Isn't that the name of a lake?
Jesus. Go ahead, Charles.
Sir, I feel sorry for them.
I thought that's what Arnold used to say to Willis on Different Strokes.
You know, you have a problem. It's a mental problem. And I pray, God, that your mental problem will be solved.
Charles, would you say...
Louis Farrakhan and his men have went to Washington, D.C. I pray grace is master upon you, Lord, that this is Satan, and we will give Satan an eviction notice.
You're preaching to the masses.
Look at Mr. Dooley, shut up. Now, Reverend, would you tell these people the Million Man March was a Louis Farrakhan production, not Martin Luther King?
It was Louis Farrakhan because some of my members went with them, and I have a lot of my friends that are with Louis Farrakhan.
You know what we call him? We call him Louis Farrakhan because he's so far out there.
Well, ma'am.
Oh, boy.
Ma'am, listen at me, please. I wish you the best of grace in the name of Jesus because you need it.
I would love to have you speak at our church. I really would. I think.
Baby, the way you is, I would not, I don't think I would pass in front of your church. God bless you. I love y'all. God bless you, radio announcer. Y'all have a blessed day in the name of
radio
Jesus.
announcer.
My name is Phil Hendry, Charles. I understand.
Phil Henry.
You got
All right, sir.
Charles,
Y'all have a blessed day.
I would love to have you come to our church.
Y'all
and
have
do
a
all of
blessed
that,
day in the name of Jesus.
All that crazy
God bless you.
black church
God bless
stuff.
you. God bless you.
One of my favorite records is Black Moses by Isaac Hayes. Oh, shoot, he hung up.
Oh, get out of here, both of you. All right, 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendry Show here. That was Bobby and Steve Dooley from the Western Estates Homeowners Association, and they can go kiss my Irish ass. All right, now, I would like to tell you about our website, philhendryshow.com. By the way, the voices of both Bobby and Steve were performed by me there. Poor Charles. Our website, philhendryshow.com, what you do is go to that website and you get your backstage pass. That's the only way you're going to be able to enjoy all of the audio from the Phil Hendry Show. We have today's show on demand. That's right, today's show, anytime you want to hear it. And we do have people calling occasionally saying, how can I get a hold of this show? How can I get a hold of that show? The way you do it is go to our website, get a backstage pass, and log on to our 30-day archives. Also, every day we post a synopsis of the preceding day's show, and we have clips from the preceding day's show. So we tell you exactly what happened on the program. We give you a small audio example of what happened on the program, and then you can go listen to the whole show or not, as the case may be. Maybe the clip we put up sounds so horrible, so horrific, so stomach-churning, you wouldn't listen to this show on your best day. Or maybe what we put up there intrigues you, causes you to wonder anew about your life and all of its possibilities, and you want to log on to the archive and listen to our show. Whatever your pleasure be, massa. Just go to philhendryshow.com. All right, I slipped into a little there because it just seems so right after the hour we just had. Go to philhendryshow.com, get your backstage pass. That's philhendryshow.com, PHILHENDRIE show.com. 1-800-449-8686. Boy, it looks like we have grown up about Martin Luther King's birthday. Don't you think? I remember when it was a big hassle in Arizona when they didn't want to have it. Remember that? We had a couple of states that didn't want to have his birthday. And then the NFL said, well, then you don't get a Super Bowl. And all of a sudden, magically, almost as if they saw the light, they said, oh, well, you know, in that case, we love Martin Luther King. People love a dollar. And that's probably the healthiest love that there is, because the love of the dollar has made us do the right thing over and over and over again in the history of this country. Martin Luther King himself proved it down south when he boycotted various businesses. When they lost all that money, all of a sudden all those fine white business people down there said, well, maybe black folks sitting at our lunch counter isn't such a bad idea after all. You see, the love of a buck has inspired some very good things. Who said money's the root of all evil? Who said that money will only drive you to hardship and unhappiness? The love of a dollar caused the state of Arizona to recognize Martin Luther King's birthday as a national holiday. And it was the love of a dollar that caused all of those businesses to recant and allow African Americans in to use their lunch counter and their changing rooms and their dressing fountains. And is it called a dressing fountain or a changing? It's a water fountain. It's a water room or a dressing fountain. In any event. By the way, you can get our CD, too, so long as I'm talking about the love of a dollar, at 1-877-616-7445. I love a dollar. You get a really great comedy CD. How can you go wrong? 1-877-616-7445. That's what it's all about. Phil Hendry Show.
This is the Phil Hendry Show. 1-800-449-8686.
And we're joined by a nationally syndicated columnist, Margaret Gray, and this is A Little Bird Told Me. Margaret, how are you?
I'm good, Phil. I want to read something that I wrote, and I'm going to put this in my column tomorrow. Tell me what you think of this. This is about men, and I want all the ladies listening to hear this, because I know you're going to identify with this. And I guess I'd like all the guys to listen to it too, Phil, because it's really about them as well.
All right.
Men. The nice men are ugly. The handsome men are not nice. The handsome and nice men are gay. The handsome, nice, and heterosexual men are married. The men who are not so handsome but are nice men have no money. The men who are not so handsome but are nice men with money think we are only after their money. The handsome men without money are after our money. The handsome men who are not so nice and somewhat heterosexual don't think we are beautiful enough. I know there's a lot of women identifying with this, Phil.
Go ahead.
The heterosexual, somewhat nice men who have money and who think we are beautiful are cowards, which means they won't ask us for a drink. The men who are somewhat handsome, somewhat nice, and have money, and, thank God, are heterosexual, are shy and never make the first move. The men who never make the first move automatically lose interest in us when we take the initiative. Now, having said all of that, who the hell understands men? And then I got one more.
Go ahead.
Men are like a fine wine. They all start out like grapes, and it's our job to stomp on them and keep them in the dark until they mature into something you'd like to have dinner with. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun, Phil?
So you wrote that?
Isn't that fun? I wrote that for my column tomorrow, and I just had an inspiration. It's really fun when the inspiration hits you and it just flows out of you. And I don't know if you've ever done any writing, Phil, but being a writer, I just write all the time. I write, because that's how I express myself. And I guess what I want to say is I thank God that the Lord showed me what it is that I'm so good at early in my life so that I could share it with everyone.
Well, that's an inventive little thing. The men, it's all about men.
Isn't that fun? And again, it's about how inspiration comes to me.
Do you find yourself when do you find that you're writing all the time?
All the time. I'm writing all the time. I'm always creating, always writing, always taking down notes, always looking for something to do. I write. I've always got ideas. I'm never at a loss for ideas. I'm always pitching some idea. I'll give you an example, Phil. You're going to find this, and anybody out there who's ever wanted to write in television, tomorrow I'm going into Fox Television. I have a meeting with Jack Blodell, one of their A-line producers, all right?
Okay.
And I have absolutely no idea of what it is I'm going to pitch him. I've got a basic premise. I have no...
You've got a meeting with a producer at Fox, and you don't know what you're going to pitch?
I have no idea. But that is because I don't worry about it. I'm so creative, and I'm such a good writer that things just come to me like this. I'll be driving over there tomorrow. I know this is what's going to happen.
Aren't you afraid? I don't mean to interrupt you, Margaret. Aren't you afraid of wasting the guy's time?
No, I never waste anyone's time. I am filled with ideas. Idea. It's always coming to me. I know I'm going to be driving over there tomorrow, and I'm going to think of something, and boom, that's what I'm going to pitch Jack with. And Jack Blodell is one of the top producers at Fox. So I have here's an idea. This just struck me. Listen to this. This is fun. Listen to this, Phil. Okay.
All right, now we're going to have to give our phone number.
No, but just listen. This is really a lot of fun.
All right, let me give our phone number out. 1-800-449-8686. 1-800-449-8686. Margaret Gray, she's a writer, and she's talking about writing and how she gets inspiration.
All right, but listen, this is fun. This just came to me right now. Listen to this. Here's an idea I've got for a TV show, and I probably will pitch Jack Blodell with this tomorrow. A woman with 3 children meets a man with 3 children. The blended family. The blended family. Do you know what that is?
Well, the blended family is a very popular thing. I mean, that's people who have children marrying other people with children.
The blended family is what they're calling it now. This is what it's going to be called. And this just came to me right now, Phil. It's just coming to me right now. So listen to this. This is what being creative is like. Ideas are always there for you. So listen to this. The title of it is Blended Family.
All right, pitch it the way that you would pitch Jack Blodell tomorrow.
All right. Here's how I'm going to pitch Jack Blodell. Blended family. I pitch this. A woman with 3 children meets a man with 3 children. They marry, And it's all about something that no one's talking about, the blended family. They have a cook or a housekeeper, a cook or a, what give me an occupation, Phil. A cook, a housekeeper. Come on. Give me an occupation.
A cook, a housekeeper, a maid.
Keep going. A maid, what?
She's a cook, a housekeeper, a maid, a gardener.
She's a gardener. She works for them, and she has a side romance with who? Who does she have a side romance with?
A butcher.
A cop, the neighborhood cop. And the whole TV series is about the blended family. The mother is like me. She's a writer. The father is, he's a DA. He's a district attorney. He deals with his kids, and it's a comedy, and we can call it the blended family. And
all right, so the mother has 3 kids. The father has 3 kids. They get together. They
get married, and all of the fireworks begin. She's a writer. He's a district attorney. And here, she's black and he's white. She's black and he's white. And he's always making jokes. Now, this is how it's going to come out of me tomorrow when I pitch Jack Blodell, all right?
All right, so this is a blended family. She's a writer. He's a DA, a district attorney?
Yes.
They have 3 children each.
Yes, and they're all boys. All boys, 6 boys. She's black with 3 black sons. He's white with 3 white sons. They get married. He's always making jokes about, what are we having for dinner tonight? It's going to be fried chicken or watermelon or something like that, because that helps diffuse the racial tension. Okay.
Oh, well, okay. I don't want to tell you what to do, all right? But
no, just listen to me. This is how it works with me, Phil. This is a racially mixed family. He makes a lot. What are we having for dinner tonight? I hope it isn't more fried chicken. Ha ha ha. Cue the laugh track. You see what I'm saying? You just come up with these ideas.
You know, this is well beyond me, coming up with ideas for TV shows. Now, this show that you're going to pitch tomorrow, you just came up with right now?
I just came up with it right now. Let me write it down. I've got to get over to Fox tomorrow. Do you want to have lunch tomorrow?
Well, we're on the air right now. We can talk about our...
All right, hold on. Blended family. She's black. He's white. She has 3 black sons. He has 3 white sons. All right, Phil?
Okay.
All right. And there's racial tension in the house because the 3 black sons and the 3 white sons get into fights or whatever. The female gardener is Asian, and she's always saying, hey, I bring potting plants. I bring potting plants. All right, so you get a little of the Asian.
Isn't some of this stuff sort of racially, sort of a stereotype?
No, it's hysterical. There's an Asian gardener. She's an Asian housekeeper, that's it. Asian housekeeper. And she always says something to the father like, I don't know, I bring potted plant into house, you know. You fool, you kid, get out of here. You know, always mess up rugs.
Okay.
And the cop is Mexican. So it's an Asian. She's having an affair with a Mexican neighborhood cop, and he's always slapping himself in the forehead and going, "Ay, Chihuahua," you know, something, okay?
Well, Margaret, you've written for television before. Is this stuff sort of stereotypical in terms of the racial content?
No, this is absolutely original because it features something that is very close, very endemic, very much a part of the heart and soul of America, the American blended family. Isn't that fun? So you have 3 black sons, 3 white sons, the mother's black, the father's white, and and you can go down the Stephen Bochco Road, you can go down the road where she makes fun of the fact that he has, I don't know if you can do this, make fun of the fact that he has a small penis or something.
No, I don't think you're going to get away with that.
Well, I'm saying if ABC picks it up. All right. I'll tell you something, Phil. I am a very, very creative woman.
Well, if you came off with that off the top of your head...
I write on the run. I write on the go. And I have notebooks filled with ideas. And that was something... You know, when I was a child, we had a black nanny. And she took me in her arms after she saw some crayon drawings that I had done. And I'll never forget this, Phil. She said, "This child gon' be have the shining." Do you know what that is, Phil?
No, this was an African American.
Yes, she was not very educated. She said, "This child gon' be have the shining." And my mother asked, "What is the shining?" And she said, "Don't worry, you'll know." And what it was, Phil, was the fact that I have infinite creativity. And it's just like that for me.
All right, Margaret. You have your notes on that TV show.
Yes.
All right, hold the line here. 1-800-449-8686. We're involved in something kind of unique here. We're listening to Margaret Gray write a proposal for a TV show that she is going to be pitching to Fox tomorrow. She calls it The Blended Family. It's about a father and a mother, and she has her kids, he has his kids, and they all blend together. She's black, he's white. The housekeeper is Asian, and the cop that she's having an affair with, or it's having a relationship, I should say, is a Mexican. 1-800-449-8686. And this thing that you call infinite creativity, a black nanny identified as The Shining.
Yes, that is when you have infinite creativity, and it's something that our African-American nanny told my mother. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that fun? It's fun to know that you have that kind of talent.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Here is Lori on the Phil Hendry Show. Lori, go ahead.
Hey, I want to know, what institution did you come out of, lady? All you're doing is taking different genres from different shows that have already been on TV and putting them together as your own and saying,
I don't know what you're referring to.
You're this creative woman.
Well, what are you referring to? What are you referring to?
You're taking the Brady Bunch / The Simpsons / every other show that's been on TV already and calling them your own?
No, dear. First of all, my show has a black mother and a white father.
Okay, so it's the Brady Bunch for the year 2000.
I beg your pardon?
It's the Brady Bunch for the year 2000.
No, it has nothing to do whatsoever with the Brady Bunch. She's black, he's white. He makes jokes about fried chicken. They have the racial tension in the house. How is that the same?
He's a black. He's the black one.
You can't, darling. You have to really be careful. I don't steal any ideas.
Well, now, Lori, let me ask you something. What's the Brady Bunch?
The Brady Bunch?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the male father figure who's the architect of the family with
my
the three sons. The female,
my male's a district attorney.
I don't know what she did in the show. She just happened to be a writer or something.
My
with
female
three
is a writer.
girls. Then you had your maid / housekeeper / take care of the children person who was always taking care of the kids. That's the Brady Bunch.
No.
Then you have your Simpsons with all the different ethnicities there doing all their different ethnic things. Like Chihuahua, you have some guy on there that says that. You have your Indian guy who does his Indian thing.
There is no one on the Simpsons that says, there's no one on the Simpsons that says I Chihuahua.
Yeah, you're doing a blend here. You're doing a blend of different shows. You're not creating anything new.
May I say something, Mr. Hendry?
Go ahead.
There is no one on the Simpsons that says I Chihuahua.
I think if you research it, you will find somebody on The Simpsons that says I Chihuahua.
You know something? If you research it long enough, you might be able to find that butterflies fly out of your ass. But that just isn't the fact.
Are you an educated woman?
Yes, I've done 8 years of college.
I'm sorry, that's not a very educated response.
You've never heard the term pigs flying out of your ass. You've never heard of that.
It's not pigs fly out of your ass. It's pigs flying from your rear end.
All right. Lori, don't be jealous because you can't be...
is a line on The Simpsons.
Where? From what episode? From what character? You can't tell me.
Oh, man.
You know something?
Do you know how many Simpsons episodes there are, lady,
when
that
you
I've seen over the years?
with creativity and you can't explain how creative I am, you have to invent things.
Well, now, wait a minute. I've worked for Matt Groening. I've done voiceover for him, okay? And he does have...
Oh, get you dropping names.
I'm sorry?
Look at you dropping names.
I've done a Futurama for the guy, okay? And the only reason why I bring it up is because I know he uses ethnic-style characters.
Well, who doesn't, for God's sake? Who doesn't? In my show, in The Blended Family, which is about the modern blended family, we, yes, use a black mother and a white father. But there is sexual innuendo. There is the explosiveness of racial violence.
Is this a comedy?
I see it as comedy, yes.
Well, then what do you mean the explosiveness of racial violence?
It isn't the Brady Bunch, and there is nothing about it that even remotely resembles the Brady Bunch.
I don't know Brady Bunch, so I don't know exactly what show it is she's talking about. Our number is 1-800-449-8686. Margaret Gray is with us. She's pitching a show to Fox tomorrow called The Blended Family, a father, a mother. She's black, he's white. She has 3 sons, he has 3 sons, and all of the shenanigans that they get involved in, as well as the Asian housekeeper and a Mexican cop that the housekeeper is having a relationship with. Our number, 1-800-449-8686. It's the Phil Hendry Show.
1-800-449-8686. The Phil Hendry Show is back.
Because of my creativity.
Well, I don't have your creativity. I'm not a writer. We're talking to Margaret Gray. She is a writer, writes a nationally syndicated column, writes books, writes TV shows, and we're talking about writing. Our number, 1-800-449-8686. Now, Margaret, you were saying that you're pitching this comedy tomorrow. There's also a reality show that you're pitching?
Yes, absolutely, Phil.
What is that about?
Well, first of all, reality TV is something that can be very big, in my opinion, because it is something that doesn't really cost a lot of money to produce. Hiring actors, hiring writers, that's expensive. So I also have decided to pitch a reality-based show. On this program, we get contestants. We put them on an island.
All right, now this is starting to sound like Survivor.
No, it's not like Survivor. Listen to this. We put them on an island where, yes, they will be tempted by other people sexually.
Okay, that sounds like Temptation Island.
Hold on, though. Listen to this. They're going to be tempted by other people sexually, but they also have to deal with things they're afraid of. All right?
No, but that... Margaret, you've got fear factor...
Phil, just listen to me. They're roughing it. They're living in tents and having to eat bugs because they're afraid of that, but they're also sexually turned on. Now, that is absolutely original.
They're on an island that they have to rough it on.
Yes. They have to rough it on this island. There is a very difficult times for them. They don't have fire. They don't have any way to cook food. They don't have any real food to eat. They find fruit that's infested with bugs, and that's also something that scares them. And through it all, they are continually sexually turned on by each other. And so the challenge of this show is to see if they wind up having sex with each other and then just starving to death.
Really?
Yes.
What do you call this show?
I don't know. Why do you sound it?
Oh, come on. What do you mean they wind up having sex with each other and then starving to death?
Because the program involves... Phil, I am a very, very inventive person.
I'll give you that. I understand. You create a lot of great shows.
There's another idea. Then we throw a crocodile in the tent while they're having sex.
Well, what is that?
That combines Fear Factor, Temptation Island, and Survivor into an incredible show. I don't know what we can call it. We can call it Sex and Death Island. Sex and death. The two things that go hand in hand. You know why, Phil? Do you know why?
No.
Because we will actually risk death to have sex. So on Sex and Death Island, people are hungry, they can't cook their food, they're also afraid of crocodiles, and they want to have sex with each other. So they screw each other's brains out while a crocodile threatens to eat them.
How could a guy...
perform sexually?
Yeah.
That's it. The contestants that can't get thrown off the island. So if he can't get it up...
All right, fine. 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendry Show.
This is the Phil Hendry Show. 1-800-449-8686.
On yesterday's show,